How to enter a new patient into Brightree prior to starting a workflow in MyForms. So the first order that I have is this patient here for demonstration purposes only. This is what, if a patient walks in, this is the kind of paperwork you would have in your hand. Okay, so the first thing we do is search for the patient and make sure they're not already existing. So my patient's last name is Zakowski. Okay, I can also search by date of birth, which would probably be the best. And there's no Zazowski. So the next step is to click New Patient and start entering the information. Last name, first name, suffix, like if they're a junior, senior, enter it there. Social Security is only optional if it's provided. We don't need these. The next one is the address. Mobile number, and email address if you have it or if it's provided. Do try to obtain this up front because this will allow messaging out to the patient. And then you can click same as billing address to transfer the information over. Branch office is where you would select what retail store you're doing this from. So if it's Fort Worth, you can choose Fort Worth or the one that applies to you. Once you are done, click Save. At this point, it will generate this patient into Brightree and it will assign a patient ID number, as you can see here. The next tab is Contacts. This is where you can enter emergency contact information if it applies. The next tab is Clinical. This is where a lot of important information goes or is applied into. So gender, height and weight is important, specifically with wheelchairs, commodes, that kind of thing, because you want to make sure you give them the right size equipment. The ordering physician, and if you have a family physician, you can list them here or click a same as ordering doctor. The next one is a marketing referral. So you have to indicate where is this patient coming from, who referred them. So you can search by facility. Oops. And when you select the correct facility, it will then generate the marketing rep. This is important because this is how they track what kind of business comes from what sources, so they can kind of go back to their referring. For the marketing meetings, they'll understand where they're marketing, they're producing business from, even if they're walking into the store. And it's a possibility that they weren't referred by anybody, and that's okay. But if you know who it is, enter the facility information here. Or the doctor as well. You can switch to doctor, and then under the doctor, type in the doctor's name. The ICD-10 code goes here. You'll also see on the left-hand side the ICD-9. This is old legacy stuff. This is not used. You only have to enter the ICD-10 codes that apply to the equipment you're going to be dispensing. You don't have to enter every single thing the doctor provides, only what applies to your equipment. Once you are done, click Save. The next tab over is insurance. This is where you will enter the patient's policy information. Click Add Policy. Payer levels of primary, which is the first insurance. Search by name. Start date. We always default to the first of the year. You scroll down. Relationship will always be self in our system. Even if they're covered under somebody else's plan, you always have to choose self. What it does, it transfers over this information. Click Save, and then verify the benefits. Now this will vary based on the patient's plan, so you may have possible different logins for different websites based on the payer. For Medicare purposes, you can verify it online. And you'll get this screen here. And if it's medical equipment, always make sure they have Part B, because that's what we file under as a medical equipment company. All right. If the patient has a secondary, you have to add that as well. So click on Insurance. It will take you back to the main Insurance tab. And you can see you've added Medicare. Now you're going to add the secondary. Add policy. Take the same steps. But now the payer level is secondary. They may possibly have a group number, they may not. Some policies do, some policies don't. If they do, add the group number. Relationship is self. Click Save at the top. And you'll notice here it says status never checked. You have to click manual eligibility check. Check that first box and click Save. If not, it will not allow the billing company to confirm the order into billing if this order is processed. Now that you've entered your demographics into Brightree, the next step is to go to the right-hand corner and click My Forms. It will then redirect you to My Forms.